Secret sauce behind Final Fantasy XIV incredible jobs by Bellular Gaming. Let's see, we have Bellular Gaming, Bellular Clips, Bellular Warcraft. Alright, let's see.
You feel it.
Oh, this is by Matt.
You feel it, right? You get into a fight on your main job, and it all just clicks. You get into this flow state so easily, it's almost like this was what you were born to do.
I don't know what you're
There's
talking
just
about.
something indescribable about it, like a kind of magic
Way to exaggerate.
playing your job. Now, don't just take my word for it. FF14 Jobs actually feels so good to play that one of the most notoriously intense types of gaming of all time, they've found a second home in it. And those are fighting game players. The pandemic was absolutely
Really?
a nuke dropped on that genre because one, net code largely sucks, getting there but it still sucks, and offline events were obviously impossible. As a result, the siren song of FF14 spread really strong.
It's your boy Patrick Miller, aka Hat Trick Killer, aka at the Flip. See, under COVID-19 lockdown, we in the hyperbolic time chamber. I'm gonna emerge from this with some new shit that's so sick I'ma be quarantined. FGC 6 months later. Oh man, we out here already? I swear I just installed Final Fantasy 14 last.
Strong throughout the community.
Okay.
So much so that
I have no
it's
idea what this
actually
guy's saying.
now called the FGC Retirement Home. There was this major tournament CEO which
What's
hired out like
FGC?
a full room just for people to play FF14 on the side when they weren't actually playing fighting games. If that confuses
Fighting
you,
game company?
you're not alone. How do people who love fighting games, these
Community?
intense PvP games that need, tons of knowledge and split-second reactions, how do those players fall in love with a PvE-focused tab target MMO? I couldn't wrap my head around it either. Was it the self-improvement loop of, learning your job, learning fights, parsing, stuff like that? Or was it
Ninja?
just an overlap between,
Ninja.
fighting games, a lot of them are Japanese. Is that just the overlap? But then I noticed there's a different overlap. Final Fantasy 14, the FGC, and rhythm games. And that's what it hit me. It's actually...
Okay, I see it. Okay. I understand. Yeah. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Rhythm games are very similar to Final Fantasy. Look at the keys as well. 1 to 3, 4, QWR, A to G, Z to V, which is basically, to an extent, exactly the keys that I use. Shift, Control, Alt variations of some of them. F1, I actually do have an F1 key as well for potions and stuff like that. So that's actually, and a lot of rhythm games for sure, because a lot of the boss fights are technically, won't call them rhythm games, but it's like they're dense, basically. So it's like stand here, stand there kind of thing. Yeah, wow, that's actually
the
a
way you
cool
press your buttons.
cool comparison.
Bear with me, right? So you hear this complaint from new players all the time in FF14. The 2.5 second GCD. It's slow, it's boring.
It
With
is.
just those GCDs, you end up pressing like 24 buttons a minute maximum, and that's really, really slow.
If
Over
it's
World
just
of Warcraft,
GCD.
that's like 1.5 second by default, so that's like 40 buttons. That's a decent bit faster. But
Yeah.
it doesn't even really matter. As anyone who's played a rhythm game on easy will know, just pressing a button to a simple beat isn't exactly fun. That's just boring, right? Now that does get better when you're pressing different buttons. You're going, instead of you're going duh. And for context, in FF14, this is what this kind of looks and sounds like. Every new player runs into the problem of GCD clipping, right? Because the game never explains, hey, here's what the OGCD animation lock is. Here's how your latency plays into that. Maybe the devs don't even
Just
fully
click
understand it.
the fuck out of it.
Because you have to fit your OGCDs in there without clipping, you can't just mash. And that's what like players coming from World of Warcraft will do. They'll just go, oh, well, I can press.
I still mash.
But that's not true. You actually need to develop a sense of rhythm to it. It's like depending on your keybinds, it can even.
With Ninja, you have to develop a rhythm. As far as I know, that's the only job I need to develop a rhythm for the Kagebunshin and all that stuff. That's the only job that I found that you need a rhythm because like the way you do the combos, the cooldowns on is a bit weird compared to like the other buttons. But other than that, I can't think of I don't think any other job has that. Yeah, no, I
Can
don't.
feel a little bit like one or two fingers. In my case, this one would be keeping the GCD rhythm, while the other finger, in this case my index finger, comes in and hits the OGCDs. So it feels a little bit more like you're playing an instrument.
That's weird.
As a Dragoon, for example, as opposed to the simple melee combo, Dragoon kind of looks a little bit more generally like this. Now, I don't know anything about music, but I was trying to figure out how to explain this, right? And I accidentally found the perfect example. I was looking at a video of a 24 beats per minute metronome, and that had a comment that explained everything. So 24 beats per minute is 2.5 second GCD. That's how many buttons you're pressing. And this comment said GCDs can be expressed as quarter notes, and then OGCDs can be expressed as 8 notes or 8 note triplets at that same tempo. So for comparison, here's what those look and sound like, and you may be able to see it kind of come together here. So whenever you're weaving, you're actually
That's actually
kind
cool.
of playing the game at 48 beats per minute for a second, and if you double weave, which happens, most openers, cool the windows, stuff like that, you're actually playing a little bit closer to 72 beats per minute, and then with SAM buffs or ninja buffs or skill speed, that goes up to like somewhere around 84, I think. But the point isn't actually like the speed; it's the fact that it changes. You've got this little mini game, which is just changing rhythm. You're not playing the same beat. You're not sitting at a drum kit doing the same thing forever. You're actually changing your own tempo occasionally, and that means that like every job, every little, every moment, you've got a different rhythm. You're playing something different.
That's actually pretty interesting. I don't click like that though. I click like World of Warcraft clicks, and it's like when it's, and a lot of times because of it, I actually miss like half a GCD or something like that. Not half, but like a bit of a GCD, because I was busy weaving all of my OGCD. Like for example, one of the openers. It's not the right opener, but I think it's with, who is it with? I want to say not Summer. Summer is actually pretty convenient. Um, who was I playing? I had this issue with. I mean, it can happen on a samurai too when you have like three OGCD abilities coming up at the same time. But I feel like Gunbreaker. It was Gunbreaker. Gunbreaker has multiple OGCDs that come up usually on the 1 minute rotation. And a lot of times, not a lot, but it's like sometimes I would literally just do all of my OGCDs, and it wouldn't be between like GCDs. It would be like 4 or 5 OGCDs, and it's like, oh, I forgot to click a GCD in the whole time.
Obviously, it's the same over time, but it's just musicality. It's musicality, physicality, and rhythm.
Yeah,
It's
that's pretty
stuff that
cool
like
way to look at it.
makes games more fun to play. My favorite example of all of this is actually the first maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds of playing Ninja.
Yeah.
It's fast, it has double weaves, it has some single weaves, it has a late weave with trick, and then there's ninjutsu, which is an absolute ton of fun. So, you know, to compare, right? Here, I'll throw on screen just some ninja gameplay, like tracked by input stuff, and I'll try to compare that to other rhythm games or other fighting games,
Bro,
just
I'm
to
not
see
gonna
how
lie, the Ninja opener, fuck my life, bro. It's so much. It is so much. The Ninja opener, holy fuck.
similar they might be. And I have a funny feeling they're a lot more similar than.
And it looks fast too. It looks like you're doing a whole lot of shit during the time, and you are doing a whole lot of buttons. But like some of the buttons don't actually do damage; they're like preparing the damage. But yeah, still, fuck, man,
I,
so many buttons.
ever would have expected. Now, I did say that this is like an accident, right? I said this is the combat system scuffed and that's how it's happened. And that obviously has its downsides, like, Australia, Latin America. Sorry you can't play Machinist because of ping. Sorry, that's just
Yeah,
how it is.
really?
But the
Oh
developers
yeah,
actually
yeah,
do
yeah,
really
yeah.
nice
I
because
know.
specific jobs have these unique elements and unique timings that actually make pressing buttons just cool. My favorite again is the mudras for ninja because you either hit 2 or 3 buttons at a quick rhythm in like a
Yeah.
specific order and then a different button. So for me, that's like
And if you
E
fuck it
R
up, you
F
get a bunny
Q
on your
for
head.
sweet on, or ER for right on. It's just it's actually just a little bit of like it's just a tiny mini game, but it is more fun than just pressing the same button again. Gunbreaker is kind of similar too with continuation because obviously you hit your combo, which is just the one button, but then you add the continuation button, which is this like shorter little button. So you actually
I wish if you got the wrong ninjutsu, you are not losing your seals. You can keep going. So for example, I don't know the seals. Call them 1, 2, and 3. Say you do a 1, 2, 3 combo on your seals, but yeah, by mistake you click 1 twice or something, and you get the rabbit on your head. The seals don't go away. You're gonna lose the DPS regardless. But it's like if you get the bunny on your head, you're gonna lose the DPS, the time you invested, and all the seals, which really feels like way too punishing for like a misclick or like a server lag or something like that.
have this like 1 2 1 2 1 2 rhythm going on, and that's just a nice little change up from your usual combo. And then there's obviously Machinist, where you've got, Hypercharge, which pulls you down to a 1.5 second GCD,
Yeah.
and that's just way faster. But you're also alternate weaving, Ricochet and Gauss round, so you've got this kind of like 1 2 1 3 1 2 1 3 going on, and it just feels really fun to play. The last example then here is Sage, right? It's got Eucrasia, which only has a 1 second recast, and that's like that turns your healing into this little quick little 1 2. So you're healing. There's a heal. There's a heal. There's a heal. Oh, there's a Eucrasia heal, and that's just really fun. Same with Red Mage's double cast. Now it's kind of
I
it's
love the
just
double
all in
cast.
GCD, but the 1 2 1 2 1 2 of like instant cast and full cast is really really fun. And the same with the melee combo in Red Mage, because that's got the faster GCD. So you're leaning back, you're going, okay, here's the cast instant,
Red
and
Mage
then
feels
the
so
melee
good.
combo goes in, and
I
you're in,
really
you're going
wanna
ah,
play Red
and then back
Mage,
out,
but the
and it
problem
just
is
makes
Red
that
Mage in summer plays so differently. Also, it's very hard to gear two characters, but Red Mage plays so differently to Samurai that's like if I play one, I can't play the other for a while.
like it's not about what you're doing like in game. It's about how you the player are pressing buttons, and that's what makes it, I think, just so much more fun. Basically, I think the point is that the
I honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I actually enjoyed every job so far to the point where it's like sometimes I'm like I'm not sure which job I want to take for a certain duty. It's like usually I do my expert dungeon on a tank, but sometimes I want to go on my samurai. Sometimes I want to go on my dancer. Sometimes I want to go on my red mage. Sometimes I want to go on my ninja, on my reaper, right? My sage, because I don't have any other healer maxed out. I just don't like healing overall, but I enjoy sage. I'll probably enjoy. Actually, no, scholar was also pretty fun. Like I don't mind any of the jobs. They're like, well, also in an expert dungeon, don't really need to be like amazing, but it's like that's something. But it's like I don't get annoyed playing any of the jobs. Like if you told me it's like, hey, we need this job for this duty. Let's say we're doing a raid, and like, hey man, like yeah, can you go on the dancer or whatever? We could use a dancer. Like I don't know, no one ever needs a dancer, but like, let's say right, like we need a physical range, like a machinist, a dancer, a bard, whatever. And I'll be like, yeah, fuck it, I'm down. Even though like my main is a samurai and a warrior, I'll be down to go on like any other job for the duty because I actually find all the jobs pretty damn fun. Which is really weird because in WoW, man, you ask me to play anything but my paladin, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna quit. I just don't want to play anymore. It's like if I don't get to play my paladin, don't want to play the game.
the job design team actually know that the physicality and the rhythm of pressing buttons is super important to making what's otherwise slow action bar based combat actually fun, and they kind of nail it. But again, that's only one small part, because jobs aren't just the gameplay, jobs are everything else that's attached. Video games are definitely more than just pressing buttons, otherwise we wouldn't have such a big
What?
industry.
Bullshit.
And FF14 also nails almost every other part, right? The visual effects and the sound work for
Yeah,
jobs is insanely good.
it's
But if a
true.
few things is genuinely badass as a warrior is pressing in a release and then just getting to pump Falclaves into an enemy.
It does
That
feel really good.
that grinding sound. I can hear it right now. The grinding sound, that massive arcing swing you do. Even if you're like a smaller character, like a female Aura or a Lala or something, you can like almost physically feel the weight of the axe. And then like Samurai as an example,
It
stuff like
is
the
really good.
Rune
Oh
Slash
yeah,
or the
there you go.
AI Jutsu stuff, it just anyone who thinks
Yes, I
Virgil,
love that.
Sam, or like Raiden or the pinnacle of cool will also love Samurai. And I'm
Yeah,
definitely one of them. For Black Mage then, the smirk, the smug smirk, the exaggerated posing. it's it's so easy to feel as a black mage that you are smarter, you are better, you are just so much better, more interesting than whoever the hell you just blew off the face of the map. It's like Yoshi P's character that he plays on live stuff with Yoshi P Sampo. The adventure plate is this little, just an evil little Lalafell with this grin, and you know that's how Black Mage feels.
Fuck them, yeah. Fuck the fucking black mages. I'm so happy you can kill them so easily in PvP.
And I think those are the details that give your job and your like by proxy your character, because your character is that job. It's there's so much added flair. Like every single job has that unique identity which carries over to you. Now, if you haven't done this before, I actually recommend picking your favorite job and going into G pose with your combat animations. Did you know that a samurai doesn't actually unsheath during Higanbana? They put their katana into their sheath and they don't move it, but they still apply the dot. And that's the kind of stuff that I think is fantastic. Same with lightning striking their sword during Iki Shoten. You can hear it, you can see it, but because it's an off GCD, it's kind of hard to notice in combat.
Yeah.
But in G pose, you can look at it and it's just cool. That's it. It's literally just cool. Even over on sound design, it's so good that I don't know this is real, right? But I was told the story of someone who claimed to know when another player was doing the rotation wrong, based just on hearing their attacks. They would like listen to
Yeah.
the sound effects of party members, and they would be able to tell when someone did something wrong because the order was off. And I actually played a little bit with sound effects muted for a while just to see how much worse it was, and it's worse, right? But it's also harder to play. So I guess like
Yeah.
you're not maybe paying attention, but all of that feedback of the visuals and the sounds, they all really do matter. But jobs aren't just
It's like I usually play the game without sound, unless I'm streaming, obviously. But it's like I'm usually watching a video, or whatever, and I notice I cannot play it. Like yeah, because I'm watching something, yeah. But it's like if there's a fight, I'm paying attention to the fight, and the sound of the video is in the background, so I'm not really paying attention to that. And I notice like I am doing way more mistakes because the sound is off than if the sound was on and I had complete focus plus visuals and auditory, I don't know, and audio signals from the game. I would
gameplay
do
and
way
visuals and
better.
sound and stuff like that. There's one last part that I think is extremely key, and it actually delves a little bit into FF's history. Do you ever play a job and you just know immediately it's the one? I think most people have that.
Yeah, Paladin, Warrior, Gunbreaker, Samurai, Red Mage, Reaper. That's the one. That was the one. Actually, Dancer is also. I actually really enjoy Dancer too.
Main job,
I
the
hate the
one that just
AoE
like
on Dancer, but
clicks in your brain, like the perfect kind of there's this hole was made for me kind of thing. And for me, that's Ninja. I've yet to play a job I like dislike, but Ninja just sings to me in every way. And then a friend of mine, he loves Samurai to the point it's actually a little bit concerning. While another one loves Warrior, and it's kind of hard to explain this in depth because it comes down to so many different
I hated Warrior and Shadowbringers though. I don't know what. I don't remember what they changed, but Shadowbringers Warrior, I fucking hated it.
skills factors. And I think the jobs quickly become more than the sum of their parts overall. It's like the walk and run animations, a little dash on Ninja, the unique style of combat with warriors swinging like crazy.
I love the
The
charge on
genuinely
Samurai
iconic artifact gear like the level
and on
81 Red
the
Mage
Red
stuff.
Mage, the jump
And
in,
then the
jump back. Oh
characterization that
my
you go
god,
through
so
during
good.
job quests. The secret sauce to FF14's jobs
Gunbreaker,
is that like unmistakable and unique
fucking
identity
funny
that they've
man.
built up over the past 10 years. Obviously, it relies on the history of FF as well, because, all the jobs are from FF. Ninja, straight up from FF3. Sage, FF3, Super Mage. A bit different, of course, now that they use laser guns, but all of those jobs are like, there's so much history. Final Fantasy Tactics A2, even the dress spheres in 10-2. Kind of like the first time I saw Pain in that Dark Knight stance, I was like, yeah, that is, for lack of a better word, soul. Oh, and for what it's worth, over in Monster Hunter, the three of us I mentioned, we all main the same weapons as our FF14 jobs. So once that job identity like gets in there, it's stuck. So be a little bit careful. Now we've made it this far, okay? And we just come now to how the game is actually designed as like a set of gameplay.
And ironically, I really enjoy playing Red Paladin, but like most games, I'll either play with a bow or like with 2 swords.
Interactions, and it's the part with the least to say.
It depends on the game, but
Everything
yeah.
is kind of a little bit simple, but also satisfying. You know, in terms of the difficulty, it's about peaks and valleys with like the big sweat coming in with 2 minute cooldowns, and then your like maintenance combos being just, I'm gonna press some combos, I'm gonna take a breather, I'm gonna pay attention to what's going on and get ready for my next big phase. The design effort seems to be a lot less about what you can do to enemies, no CC, slow, stuff like that. And it's a lot more about what your character themselves is actually doing, which is kind of, I guess, how FF usually works anyway. It's stuff like, the monk trying to build up the chakras and then open their like lunar and solar nadi. The red mages trying to like balance their mana, and samurai trying to, get their stickers while they keep their loops synced. Stuff like that's
Stickers,
like a
yeah,
little
basically.
mini game you're
Vigils,
doing yourself.
stickers,
But
whatever.
for those used to fighting games or rhythm games, it actually feels quite a lot like learning a different combo route or, a map in a rhythm
Yeah,
game. And
very,
learning
very
those
similar.
sequences, rotations, like little finger dances in a way, they turn what's otherwise this like slow combat system with, jobs of like what, 40 APM on average, which is fairly slow.
Ninja has a lot of APM. BLM obviously not. Let's see, Paladin not. Red Mage really? I thought Red Mage would have more APM because literally every ability is fucking instant. Bard APM? Yeah, Machinist APM, I see that. I thought Machinist would be above Ninja, to be honest. Samurai is pretty high up there though. White Mage has no APM, BLM has no APM.
But it turns it into something satisfying.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has just been me musing on why FF14 jobs are so sticky and so much fun to play. It's like I felt it, right? But I didn't know
I actually thought Machinist would be more than 60 APM.
why. So I sat down, I tried
Just
to
because
figure
of
out, and
overheat.
honestly, this is this is the best I can come up with. Honestly, I think what I have to say is every detail is carefully crafted, so the whole experience of playing a job, if it clicks for you, if it fits you, it fits perfectly. Now, sorry to any samurais out there. I now fully understand the little sword twirl, kaiten. I know why that meant so much to you. Now, tell me, what part of your main
Uh,
job stands out? Which
does
buttons are your
it? I
favorite to
mean,
press?
it
What is
just
it
looks
about,
cool, I think.
clicks with you? For me, it's the rhythm of pressing buttons and
Oh, that's the. Okay, I see. Okay. I didn't play Summer enough for that to mean to me, but like, it does look really cool to do.
it's the little flip jumps, and it's also Shukichi, allowing me to grade like crazy. But it also, got
Yeah.
that little tuny, edgy little teleport dash. It just works for me. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was in any
I feel like I got my Ninja to 90. I don't remember. Oh yeah, they did do the new teleport thing.
capacity kind of
But it's so
resonated with
weird.
you, because obviously it's nice to kind of think about why things are so much fun. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
As definitely a good video. I did enjoy that a lot, and yeah, that actually like makes a whole lot of sense when I think about it, especially Samurai. Oh, well, especially Ninja, but like Samurai too. Though, to be honest, since I use an add-on for my combos, it's a lot less than what he indicated, but whatever. It's all good anyway. It's all good.